large.
Sipping coffee because he needs a little caffeine.
Keith Smith had a good outing at the Washington Nationals game.
We had the whole Smith clan there for my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, and they asked what they wanted. They said they wanted all the kids and grandkids and great-grandkids together for a baseball game, so we put it all together, and nobody got arrested, which is good.
That's good, especially when the Smiths get together.
When the Smith gets together.
I saw Grandpa Smith, meaning you, with the granddaughter on his shoulders on Facebook. It was a great photo.
Yeah. You
were cheesing, ear to ear, smiling.
Because she was in the process of taking out my brand new hearing aids.
Oh, no! Those are not cheap, my friend.
Yeah, this was like the 1.5-year-old go, geez, what's that? And starts jerking stuff out of your ear. Going, oh, great. In the middle of Nats ballpark.
Right. I saw it on Facebook. That was a pretty impressive crew.
Oh, that's only about half of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How many was that?
Oh, God, I don't know. Great question. I didn't count.
It was a lot.
That was enough, yeah. That's about I'd say about 2/3, honestly. There was my little brother didn't come with his 3 children and his wife, and Yvonne didn't come from out west, and a couple of son-in-laws, a couple of brother-in-laws didn't come, and so it was my sister Kelly, who's 2 years younger than me. I'm the oldest of 5. Pretty neat thing. So he's an AP at Viacom, so he was in the middle of setting up the VMA Awards.
Whoa!
Yeah, he couldn't come. He was kind of
busy man.
He was in the production side of it. Yeah.
So a lot to cover, guys. We got questions coming in. Multiple people are asking, "Is this the show when you give us the takes on the neighborhoods?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever.
Absolutely.
I shoot a neighborhood out, and we'll take a digest. I got the laptop up. We'll take a look a little bit what's been happening in the last 7 days, and
I got some people asking about the Rugby Road neighborhood.
Okay.
Got some folks asking. Well, we'll save it for when the show gets on.
Give me something so during the intro I can start looking it up.
Rugby? Okay, why don't we go Rugby Road area? So that's Charlottesville City.
Okay.
I got a Dunlora request.
Let's do Dunlora. I'm closing one tomorrow in Dunlora.
We got 2 for Rugby.
2 for Rugby. Okay, Rugby wins.
All right, let's rock and roll, Judah. So, guys, give the show a like and a share. We'll get rocking and rolling here in T-minus 2 minutes. Judah, my friend, we're in your hands. Good Monday morning, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk with Keith Smith. Thank you kindly for joining us on a glorious Monday. It's such a great day to be alive and above the mud. This show is going to be dynamic. It always is when Keith and Jerry and Judah get together. You may know us as Keith
dynamic,
Smith,
huh?
Jerry Miller, and Judah Wickower, but in certain circles, we're Batman, Robin, Alfred, and Bat Dog. And Judah Wickower is our esteemed jack of all wits, the compass behind our infrastructure. Keith Smith, he comes here and talks. My name is Jerry Miller. I try to keep him on pace. Let's go to the studio camera. Judah, we got to somehow get you and your handsome mug on the show somehow. My friend, so we teased this a little bit before the show started. The Smith posse was at Washington Nationals Park.
Yeah, we
for our anniversary.
Yeah, my mom and dad's 60th wedding anniversary. When we asked them, hey, what do you guys want to do? And they said, my mom in particular is a huge baseball fan.
Really?
She's changing. She was a Nats fan forever.
Okay.
But now she's gone back to the Mets, so she went from Mets to Nats. The Nats aren't doing so good.
She's kind of a front runner over there?
Did
someone call her out on that?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I did in front of everybody. And in front of everybody
and
right
would she slap you?
Yeah, but she tried. I made sure I was a couple of people away from her. I'm dumb, but I ain't stupid. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. We had about 2/3 of the crew there, and had a bunch of time. That's like the perfect environment to talk and have a good time. And they have grandkids and great grandkids that range from 1.5 to college students. So,
That's awesome.
So we're just a big in your
College
face.
student.
Yeah, James is.
Oh, oldest daughter.
Yeah, James's oldest daughter
That's
is going to VCU.
VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University.
So I believe I'm allowed to call her a freshman.
Yeah, VCU, you can.
I can.
You're very well.
UVA, I cannot.
Look at Keith Smith. He's learning. He's learning. He's fire. Rock. So here's the beautiful aspect of today's show. We are going to spitball neighborhoods around Central Virginia. We're going to take a deep dive into this man's tremendous intellect. 38 years, 38 or 37?
Enough. Since 87.
Good
So
Lord.
somebody does the math.
I gotta do some quick math. Can you do that math right there?
I don't have enough caffeine in me to do
that's,
that.
That's 35.
It's enough.
35.
It's enough.
Yeah, 35 years he's been in real
Let's
estate.
call it 3.5 decades. It sounds
Judah
so
looked
much
at me
better.
and said, no, give it back to Jerry. No, he's like, I'm not doing that.
He's
math
taking a
either.
nap. Will you give the guy a break? Will you?
I mean, it's early in the morning over here. So we'll take a deep dive on neighborhoods in this community. Keith Smith will give you his take. He's got Paragon open, right?
Yeah, I sure do.
So Paragon is the back end MLS?
So it is the MLS, right? But there's a public-facing portion of it, and then there's our portion
For the agents.
that we
the
can get it.
pros.
So we'll be able to take a little bit of deep dive. So rugby was thrown out.
Rugby Hills, Barracks Road was just thrown out.
So I just did-
Venable was just thrown out.
I just did. Well, we'll work on it here for a second. But I just did rugby.
Okay.
So
yeah.
so the thing about the way this works with Paragon, it'll be the city of Charlottesville, and there's certain subdivisions within the city we can take a harder look at on it. But so this is just rugby.
Okay.
What Paragon is defining as rugby.
Okay.
Right. So just take a look at what's available. There's only 2 homes available right now in rugby, and somebody's going to ask me at what price point.
Yeah, I was just going to do that.
Were you going to do that?
Yeah.
At some price point?
I mean, that's a very Tony neighborhood, rugby. It's in the heart of everything. You can walk to grounds, you can walk to Dairy Market, you can walk to Barracks Road, you can walk to the downtown mall if you're feeling fresh. I mean, I would think that's safe to say, right, Judah?
So
that
there's-
you can walk from Rugby Road to the downtown mall if you wanted to?
Well, you can
walk anywhere.
You can walk from Rugby Road to Dairy Market.
Yeah, you can
Have a cocktail.
You can bar hop. Right.
Take
Yeah.
a break. My brother-in-law James and I may or may not have done this.
There you go.
And then you can stop at.
You got Siren you can stop
That's
at.
right.
Old Shabine.
That's right. Well, before you hit
Random Row, Cardinal Hall.
so before you hit that, you would do Cardinal, Random.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit of a right hook over at the Old Shabine on that end of it, and then catch the whiskey jar and then call an Uber.
Yeah, I know. At that point, are you standing up?
Call
I guess
it
it
Uber.
depends on what you're drinking.
Yeah, well, I'm a lightweight. I talk about it a lot, but
You can polish off a martini.
I get one martini. That is literally my limit. I just
Okay.
have one martini.
So rugby, the 2 listings.
800-7999, 800,000. That's on 1824 Winston Road, and then one that just came on the market. It's actually in the coming soon status, which is 1.275 on 938 Rosner. But what I really want to take a look at is what's kind of sold in there.
Yeah, please.
In the last, say, 60 days.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll just give me a second here. I got to change some data around a little bit.
I'm also, so we're talking neighborhoods. He's giving you the take on various neighborhoods. You can ask his take or profile or assessment on your neighborhood if you'd like. I see it coming in. Kevin, walking down Rugby and Preston would be serious frogger. Neither has sidewalks. Rugby and Preston have sidewalks.
Yeah, I've run that, bike that. You got to cross.
Yeah, but they have sidewalks.
You have to. Well, it's interesting. One side does, one side doesn't, and they alternate back and forth.
Yeah.
But you can walk from. It's a bit treacherous crossing 29 or Emmett at that point. But in theory.
No, he's saying from Rugby to Preston, the bar hop you were talking about. There's sidewalks there.
Yeah. So
I've done that walk many times.
Yeah, we've walked. I think maybe if you're going from like Barracks Road, you still can do that. You can walk right up Preston Hill.
Yeah.
Right, it's a bit of a hike, but then I think you got to cross back over at the park because you run out
Washington
of
Park.
Washington Park. I think you run up if I remember correctly, and then you can catch. You can get a coffee, get a little caffeine.
Shando Joe's.
Then go across the street to get a cocktail at Dairy Market.
I mean, this is exactly the empty nester living Yona wants to do.
I think we're doing it.
Yeah, I know.
So last 60 days in the rugby area, as Paragon has defined it, 2 have sold. One on 1870 Wayside Street for 1.445. Excuse me, I apologize. 1.4 million, 25 days on market, and then another sold for 2 million on 933 Rugby. That was 2 days on the market. So rugby's kind of a unique market over there, right? So it's funny, as we were driving home with my mother and father, they were, because they don't get into Charlottesville very often, and we went out at the end of on the way back from DC last night, stopped and grabbed some dinner in town, and they were just asking me about the rugby market. So it's really interesting to come up there. Things don't turn around too much.
No, people don't sell. They stay.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, it's the heart of town. I mean, it's one of the toniest Charlottesville city neighborhoods out there. What are some of the comps? What are some of the houses that have gone under contract of late?
In rugby.
And rugby price points. And I'm looking one on there.
Well, I went back 60 days.
Okay.
So I mean, I can go back 90 days. It jumps up from 2 units to 4 units. I at this market, I really do not like going too far further back than 90 days.
It's a completely different market.
Completely different market. Yeah. So there was 4 units that sold in the last 90 days. The median sales price was 1.5 million. 4 days on market. So the market is moving. The outlier for that was there was one that was 25 days. Everything was 3, 6, and 2 days on the market. All went over listing.
And what do you make of that?
It's the market, right? So we talk about this all the time, right? It's the 5 things: locations, price, features, conditions, and timing. So, it's a market that doesn't turn over very often, right? And when it does, it's a hot market. People
holds
like
its value.
Holds its value.
Good investment.
Yeah. If you got $2 million.
Well, I mean, you got some below that.
The cheapest of the last 90 days was 920, so awfully close to $1 million.
And you also mentioned one that was active for right around 800, right?
It was, yeah. So I changed the screen on that here real quick. There's no pendings at the moment on that end of it.
So we're talking subdivisions. More coming in. Oh, this is a good topic right here for the viewers and
I was
listeners.
hoping it would be. Yeah, let's try to take a look at it.
If you'd like for us to give a take or an
I don't think this
assessment-
is the average buyer we're talking about right here, right?
Well,
So-
I mean, it might be in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm looking at the house that you just told me, which was Winston Road, okay? Winston Road's got an asking price of $730,000. 1824 Winston Road. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet. Looks like it's in some decent shape. Phenomenal location. Private lot. You're talking, for the city of Charlottesville, 0.4 acre lot. That's pretty strong.
For the city.
For the city.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like this is pretty much the entry
Yeah,
point
yeah.
for a family
Yeah.
in Charlottesville, right?
Well, I've just changed off of rugby, right? I'm going to say what has sold in Charlottesville in the last 90 days. So it's 190 units have sold on that. So we're only focusing on I apologize, 128. We're only focusing on detached homes for the moment in the city of Charlottesville. We can go to attached homes, but there's 128 in the last 90 days that have sold, and my fancy computer takes a little bit of time to do that. But the median sales price was 492.5, 5 days on market average. So we've been talking median a lot, but the average days is the total average, right? Median throws out the high and the low. Throws out the high and the low. But there's not much of a delta between 10 days on market and 5 days on market. There's not a huge spread on that. So, usually I prefer to use median on it because it throws the high and the low end out on that end of it. But, you were looking at 492.5. Cheapest, the most cost-effective home sold was 175,000. That was on 914 Nassau Street, which my suspicion is I take a deeper look into that, my thinking is that would probably be a tear down.
Yeah. At that point right there.
Yeah.
This question
And it was bought for cash, by the way.
This question just came in from Kelsey Klein. She says, Keith, what is the differentiating points between the Rugby neighborhood, the Hilltop neighborhood, which is there just off Barracks Road as you're coming down Barracks Road to Barracks on the right, and the Meadowbrook Hills neighborhood. So those are all adjacent neighborhoods right there she's asking about, Keith.
Yeah, and who is this now?
Kelsey Klein.
Hey, Kelsey.
Great question, Kelsey.
Yeah, so...
Kelsey, do you live in the city? Just out of curiosity? Let us know.
So we're looking at Hilltop, and the thing is, so the MLS will not break down into Hilltop because it's not an actual neighborhood in that. Meadowbrook, I believe.
Meadowbrook is one.
One is one for sure.
So we're taking assessments. Dunlora has come into place. People are asking about Dunlora. I don't know what you mean about Palatine, Kev. Give me a few more details.
Palatine's a street.
Well, I know. He's asking us about a house on, is it a home on Palatine? Is that what you mean, Kev? Just out of curiosity. Dunlora is being asked about?
Yep. So to go into the Meadowbrook section, and this in particular is the Meadowbrook Hills, I believe is they define it. Hold on a second. Yeah, Meadowbrook Hills. What has sold in the last 90 days, excuse me, I apologize. What has sold in the last 90 days is 3, 4, 5 units. We've got one active, and the sold is quite up there, 1.7 million. So it's kind of comparable. I think that was the question, was a little bit. It's kind of comparable.
So tell us about what you see about Meadowbrook Hills.
Yeah. So
there's one active?
There's one active. There you go. That's on, that is on 112 Rugby.
So maybe that's why she was confused.
Yeah, so the problem with the city is there's
no lines.
There's no lines.
No clear-cut dividers.
That's the struggle, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I know this house well. It's right on the corner by the traffic light. We're on Rugby, and you make the right to Rugby Hills Road, I believe.
It's a beautiful home.
Beautiful home, yeah. So it's difficult because the city kind of has neighborhoods, then they kind of don't have neighborhoods on that.
Well, the tricky of this one is it's on Rugby Road, but it's in Meadowbrook Hills.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. So we're dealing. We're talking about we're not talking about where I just came from in D.C., right?
Yeah, it's not. We're just like it's not Lake Monticello, or like.
Well, see, Lake Monticello, you can break it down into sections.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. It's clear-cut division.
Clear cut on it. So it's very difficult, and for whatever reason, there's not a connection between neighborhoods and the way it's broken down into Paragon. But yeah, I would consider that as a comparable neighborhood.
What do you make of, what's the take on that one?
The one that's listed?
Yeah.
It's a nice home. It's unique, that's for sure. I think the location is on a high traffic road, so it's been on the market for 60 days. So my suspicion is some of that is probably what's playing into it as I'm looking through it on the back end of it. But as far as value goes, if you compare that to some of the other square footage of the homes up the street that sold on Rugby, by the way, it's priced right where it needs to be.
Look at Keith Smith dropping knowledge over here.
It's the coffee. It's working.
It's good. I can see it. You crush it in this setting, my friend. Anything else you want to dot the I's and cross the T's city-wise?
Yeah, I'm trying to rapidly move my search as you guys are talking.
Here's a tough question for you.
I love tough questions. Show's over.
Steven says, what's the better long-term investment, Keith? North Downtown, Belmont, or the Rugby Meadowbrook neighborhoods. So those three...
We have to define what investment means.
Yeah.
Right.
An investment is so different to each person.
That's exactly
Investment to some people, like my wife, could be like, we can grow in the house, we can have pictures and proms and Christmases and the grandkids and the great-grandkids and the dogs. Investment to me would be like, how do you get the most profit margin out there? It's different for everyone.
So who's winning that argument?
I would imagine, it depends on the day. Usually my wife. She's watching right now. You do, honey.
Yeah.
With her moms.
Very well played, Mr. Miller.
So Stephen, I would imagine Stephen is alluding to price point here. And the reason he brings up, and Stephen, offer some more perspective if you could for us.
That's interesting. That's an interesting question. If we're looking at it as pure investment, I'm buying this, I hate to use this word, I'm buying it as like a flip scenario, right?
As a commodity.
Yeah, which intuitively, I side with your wife much more
Sure. I know you do.
than you do.
And I side with Yona a little more than. We can trade, okay? I side with.
Are we making a deal here?
We are. I think we saw this in a Robert Redford movie with Demi Moore. Was that movie?
I have no idea. I am not going down this road. I have way too much respect for your wife and my wife to go down this road.
God, I love you, Keith.
Yeah, so the Nats played horrible, man.
Did they lose the game?
Oh, dude, yeah.
They did?
Yeah, it was.
Who'd they play?
Cincinnati. So it was.
The Reds?
Yeah. It was.
That ballpark's beautiful, though.
Well, we're spoiled because, I was able to attend a couple of games at Petco in San Diego. So that's like the
creme de la creme.
That's It's a really good ballpark.
Oh, Nationals ballpark is great.
Yeah.
Closest one to us.
Yep.
What did it take you? 2 hours?
2.5 hours. I drove my mom and dad, so we had to take a couple of
bathroom breaks.
Sure.
Was that for you? That was not for his mom and dad. That was for Keith.
I was going to say something really crude, but my mother disclosed to me on the trip up. She watches every show.
Oh, I know. And so does my wife.
So I was going to say something really inappropriate.
Please don't do that. I don't want to get in the bad graces of Mrs. Smith.
I will not do that. Yeah, so, look, they...
His question was this.
I know. I've got an answer to it.
You got Belmont, you got North Downtown, you got Rugby. Those three neighborhoods in the city, often your higher price points, if not your highest price points. The most coveted three neighborhoods you may argue in the city, those three. They have proximities, they have common denominators. Belmont and North Downtown, close proximity to the downtown mall. Rugby, close proximity to grounds. So there's a reason to move there from a walking standpoint as an amenity. You probably get a little more space on Rugby square feet wise.
Yeah, but the price points are different.
The price point is probably the highest of the three.
Yeah, so
don't you think?
Again, so trust. Look, this is a real estate show, right?
Yeah.
Right. Trusted advisor. So the first conversation and I apologize, I didn't write who we talking
that
to?
is from. Hold on one second, Mr. Coppinger. Hello, Mr. Coppinger, and welcome to the program.
Mr. Coppinger. So the first conversation that I would have. Stephen, thank you. The first conversation I would with Stephen is okay, what's your goals, what's your objectives? Now, if it's purely I want to buy something for future investment, as it stands right now, a single family detached in Belmont, what we're defining as Belmont. Belmont is actually a defined neighborhood within Paragon. On that, there's 4 homes available.
In Belmont.
And they're ranging from $259 to $415.
Okay.
All of them have been on the market north of 30 days.
Wow.
Which is unusual.
Yeah.
We have to take a hard look at that. So, let's talk about the 259, which is 260 home, right? Taking a hard look.
Palatine Avenue. Is this the one, Kevin Yancey?
I think
304 Palatine Avenue, Kevin?
I think that's probably what Kevin is talking about.
You got 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 638 square feet. This is a small home. When does it become a tiny house? At what square foot?
Oh boy, that's an open to debate.
Is 638 square feet a tiny house?
It's awfully small.
It's awfully small.
I don't think it's defined as a tiny house. I think tiny houses are the 4s.
Wow.
But look, I think the reality on that is, and as we're looking at it, I'm going to take a look at the back end of it and chat a little bit. It has an alleyway. It's on Palatine. It's off of Ridgemount. Ridgemount, right?
This might be the most affordable price point in the city of Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. So again, if this is a pure investment scenario, you want to get in it. You want to take a look at it, right? Are you looking to buy that and wait for the city to catch up with its missing middle rezoning? And then be able to put multiple units on there? Is that your game plan? What's your game plan on that stuff? I think the reason it's sitting so small, I think, the first-time home buyers looking at this and probably saying... how
do I grow into this?
Well, not necessarily how do I grow into it. What do I need to do to it if anything, so I can live in it at the given moment and see how I grow into it. It is a cute as a button.
I would call it a cottage? I'll put the link in the...
But you know the history behind that home, right?
Tell me. This is Kevin Yancey knows the history behind this home
well. Well, the individual, not individual home, but that type of home was, that's where the employees lived when the X
Park. Right, at the X Park, yeah.
X Park was rocking and rolling and building parachutes during World War II and all this kind of great stuff. So, taking a look at the map and the zoning right quickly on the back end of this, there could be a scenario where somebody would buy that for cash, use it as a short-term rental or some sort of rental scenario over 30 days, maybe put in traveling nurses, depending if I lose my mustache or not in 2023.
And then wait for the upzoning?
Wait for the upzoning and then maybe tear it down and build 2 or 3 or something along those lines. To buy a decent lot in the Belmont area, if you can find one, $1.50.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
And that might be low.
Yeah, $1.50, $200, somewhere in that price range. So it's not that far off. Again, it depends on what the buyer's needs are, right?
CMO Nicholas Erpe, ¿qué pasa, chico? Love you, Nicholas Erpe. Welcome to the program, my friend.
CMO.
Yeah, Chief Marketing Officer.
I love it.
Newly minted married man.
Newly minted.
Handsome devil, Nicholas Erpe.
Let's get carried away.
All around A+ guy in my book.
A+ guy. Handsome.
Judah Wickower is laughing over here. Nicholas Erpe, he's chuckling over here. All right, so what do you make of Compinger's comment here? Compinger says this: Belmont, North Downtown, Rugby. Shoot from the hip. Compare and contrast the three. Arguably the three toniest or popular, sought after neighborhoods.
So to put it into perspective, North Downtown has 0 homes available for sale right now.
Rarely has homes for sale.
Belmont has
4. Yeah.
They're a little they're not long on the tooth on days on market, but they're kind of getting there. They
also need a little TLC.
Well, the one that we just looked on Palatine really doesn't need too much TLC. It's just too small, right, to grow into. So something else has to be added to it on that end of it.
Nicholas says, "Good morning, fellas," and he says, "Keith, you were the first to call me good-looking on air, and I'll never forget it."
I'm just trying to give him a hard time.
Oh, I love you,
He's gorgeous. Not only is he gorgeous, he's so damn smart.
He says, "I'm cracking up. First one to call me good looking on air. Great Monday morning. Erpe, Nicholas, you are the man. I hope you're doing well. You are the man."
Did I have my fingers crossed when I said that when I was on there? I can't remember.
I think you had your fingers and your legs crossed over there when you said that over there.
There you go. So, Nick, good to see you, Nikki.
Okay, we're going to say North Downtown versus Rugby and Meadowbrook, and then we'll go to the other ones that are coming in fast and furious.
Yeah, so North Downtown, Meadowbrook,
Rugby,
okay. North Downtown's an animal unto itself, right? Very rarely something comes on the market. It turns around pretty quickly.
You're looking at pretty much the entry point at North Downtown is 8. If you want something special, expect to pay over $1 million.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Lexington Avenue is a pretty darn little corridor on North Downtown.
So North Downtown, last 90 days, 2 units sold.
What are we talking price point? 7 figures? $1 million plus?
So that's interesting. I'm going to have to take a pause for a minute here and take a deeper dive into this, because what Paragon is calling North Downtown and what you and I are calling North Downtown turns out to be 2 different places.
I'm going to go to the MLS as well.
Yeah, hang on one second, because I don't want to give folks.
I consider North Downtown that Lexington.
Yeah, so what I have is I have a subdivision block I can insert into that, and I inserted North Downtown, and it is not the North Downtown that we're talking about. This is like up by McIntyre and Northwood, and up over that way, because there's like a home that's sold right off of McIntyre for $325.
Do you ever just do the search by the zip codes? Because sometimes what's tricky about the MLS.
Sometimes the best way to do it is by the school system.
By school systems or zip codes?
Yeah. Because
sometimes the MLS will blend.
Yeah.
Like the county and the city, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I do a Charlottesville city search,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at county houses. I'm like, what's going on here?
Right. Crozet is a prime example. Right. Right.
That's a completely different community.
Complete. If
20 minutes away.
Correct. If you want to do Old Trail, to really look at Old Trail, you got to do like Brownsville. You put in the search criteria,
Narrow it down.
narrow it down by
Yeah.
the school.
Right.
Right. And then it will kind of do this. But, if I put North Downtown in it, just as picking up a sale that happened on 616 McIntyre Road for $342,000. Excuse me, I take that back. I lied to you. $352,000, which is it's a great little home on that. And then there's one right off of East High Street for $725 that sold for $747,000.
Do you ever find, this is just my perspective, do you ever find the MLS, the public-facing version of the MLS?
I'm never on it.
You're never on it? It's clunky.
Yeah, so
It's clunky to use.
let me see. I don't know how much I can share, but I can assure you that the car board is
Aware of that.
is aware of that.
They've heard it before.
They've heard it before. This is a very complicated system.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I mean,
system
a
to
build
do.
like this is significant.
Yeah. So they're working on that for what it's worth.
Keith Smith dropping knowledge here. So more neighborhoods coming in. Do you want to dot the I's, cross the T's on city before we go to the next one?
Yeah, I just, overall, city sold detached the last 90 days. I'm curious, just because now I'm playing around a little bit. I want to just see what happened in the last 30 days and see what has sold and see what the median is for the last 30 days. So the median for the last 30 days is 510, 4 days on market, 10 on the average. The lowest is 212, and that was on Meridian Street.
Great street, Meridian.
And I'm just curious when that went under contract. So just hold on. So that went under contract on 7/9. So one of the reasons I wanted to kind of do this and look at this, and I really, between traveling and taking care of, having fun with all my family members and my parents for the 60th, I wanted to take a look at what has sold and see, if did they go under contract when the interest rates were up, right? Or did they go onto contract before that? So just picking kind of an average number here, there was a home on 309 Southwest 7th Street sold for $435, and that went under contract at 617. So that was when interests were, and it's a conventional loan. So these are things I can see on the back end.
Jamie Turner, welcome to the program.
Hey.
Repping the Pep and Call Pepper, the mayor
Hey.
of Gordonsville, JT. He says, this is Jamie saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Not Jamie saying this, not Keith Smith, because we know Keith Smith's on the board of CAR. The viewer is saying this, not Keith Smith. Do I need to reiterate this again?
I don't know, but it sounds like I'm getting off the board here.
He says
I'm getting fired.
He says the Bright MLS is way more intuitive than Paragon. And Jamie's a real estate investor.
Yeah.
And he's as actively using the MLS as I am. Like,
Yeah.
I am literally on the MLS, I would say, a few times a day.
Sure.
And I will say this: if you want to use, for those that are not,
Jamie, I'm
agents-
not going to agree or disagree
Right.
with you because
but his silence speaks volumes.
but that would put me in a bad spot. I can tell you, Yona and I are members of Bright,
Okay.
and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
What the
We
easiest?
do, but it's important to get this out. We do have a data share agreement that I can talk about. So
With Bright.
With Bright.
Yeah.
So we can look into Bright's regions. Bright's regions can look into us. So there is a data sharing agreement as far as ease of using platforms.
Because Bright is what, more Nova?
Northern Virginia, yeah.
Yeah.
More Northern.
Sertivant, the good doctor, the economist, is now the chief economist for Bright.
I'm actually going to see her in.
Is that right? Chief economist for Bright?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
I'm going to see her because of the award that I won with Reese Media. There's a dinner up there, a little 120 of the shakers and the movers, and then me, in the industry, in September 7th, I think.
He says, and he's very respectful of you. He says,
Yeah.
"Sorry, Mr. Smith, I don't want to get you in trouble."
No.
You're not getting in
No. The only person that's going to get Keith Smith into
It's Keith
trouble?
Smith.
It's Keith Smith.
And he's very good at it.
And I excel at it.
I will say this, and Jamie.
I'm not good at it. I excel at it.
Jamie, this is so funny. He just posted, although I know you like getting yourself in trouble in the show from time to time, and gave you the wink emoji. So he posted just as you said that right there from Culpeper. JT, we love you, dude. We love you,
So
JT.
refresh my memory, because I want to take a dive into this here in a minute. Who we're calling the mayor of Gordonsville
Jamie
again?
Turner.
Jamie, I'll tell you what, on Sunday morning on the way up to the game with my parents, we stopped in Gordonsville to get a cup of coffee. There's like this really cool little coffee shop there right before the train tracks, before you go into the train tracks.
What's the name of the coffee shop, JT?
And please don't.
Also, JT, give us a little take or insight of what's going on with Champion Ice House in Gordonsville, if you could. Any take or intel that you have, if you can, put that in the feed. Let us know what's going on there.
I can tell you at 11 o'clock in the morning when we rolled through there, Ice House was packed,
Yeah.
coffee place was packed. Our dear friends, Well Hung from Neil Williamson was packed. Did I get
You got it right. Neil
Williamson, did I say that right?
You got it right, Neil Williamson.
On that barbecue place,
Barbecue Exchange.
don't think it was quite open yet
Yeah.
at 11 o'clock
That's
in
a
the
little
morning.
early for barbecue.
Right, on that end of it. But that whole
Quarter.
corridor was
It's beautiful.
humming.
Yeah.
And I had to park way down the street and walk to get a cup of coffee because everybody said they wanted coffee. And,
It's so charming.
yeah. And so I think at one point in time, we talked about what the long-term viability of that is. So I'm going to take a look at some numbers in Gordonsville while you're chatting.
Absolutely. I will say this, Jamie, and I don't know how you feel this way, viewers and listeners, how you feel this way. I've had a lot of luck when navigating listings and just trying to stay on top of what's happening in the market with the Realtor.com app. And a lot of the agents swear by it and say it's updated the first.
So that's-
like Zillow,
Yeah.
Trulia, Realtor gets the updates first.
Yeah.
Say when an agent makes a price reduction.
Yeah. So without throwing any other entity under the bus at the moment, Realtor.com is because it's part of the national MLS, part of NAR, is directly connected into our MLS. So if we were to go on a listing,
It's immediate.
I think it's a few seconds, but
Yeah.
awfully close to immediate.
But you don't see the agent notes though.
No, because
That's back end.
That's you got to be on Paragon
To see the
or
agent
whatever
notes.
Bright to go ahead and see that. But we counsel buyers and sellers all the time. That's the best app to use. Stay on Realtor.
Yeah, it's
Take a
phenomenal.
look. It comes in and out. I will tell you on other platforms, I've gotten phone calls for listings that we have sold and closed on many, many months and/or years back that still are showing active. So I think the other platforms have cleaned that up a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're talking Trulia and Zillow there.
But at the end of the day, if you're using a trusted advisor, then you want to use their tools
Right.
that they have best.
And you're
access.
saying if there's one out there, you suggest Realtor app.
Literally, that's what I tell our clients.
Okay, so that's good knowledge right there. 35 years in business. East of Maui is the coffee shop you were talking about,
No.
or is it or the Crescent Cakes?
That's it.
Yeah, he just
Because
put that
the
in
reason,
feed.
because the reason I know that we do a pie giveaway for Thanksgiving. Yona does a pie giveaway for Thanksgiving to all our clients, and we're actually going to order our pies from them this year. Their apple and blueberry pies are really good. I may or may not have sat there and tested them for a little while.
I have no doubt you did, my friend. Carrie Rock says, "Don't forget Patch, Keith."
Patch,
Brewery's
yeah,
right there.
that's right, yeah. Kerry, I owe you a phone call, my friend. Got to work through a couple of things. He and I are working together on a sponsorship for his charity that he's
Oh, very nice.
doing on that. But I've got some details.
Dude, Seville.
I got some details.
One
I
of the
need to-
things I've noticed while working with Keith Smith for how long has it been? Has it been 4 years?
I thought about 102.
Has it been 4?
102 years.
He responds quite well to text messages. Phone calls and voicemails, and not so much.
Oh,
Text
no,
messages.
no,
You're
no.
a text guy. You know you're a text guy.
Yeah, I'm a 60-year-old millennial.
Yeah, you are, right.
Got a problem with that?
Wouldn't you rather a text?
A phone call is what I would prefer.
Over text?
Well, maybe a phone text than a phone call.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, so much can be just knocked out with the text. Then if you need to go to the phone call.
So interesting, last 30 days in Gordonsville, nothing has sold. I'm looking at sold. in Gordonsville at the moment. So, yeah, it's interesting.
More comments coming in.
Yeah,
Keith,
sure,
you're gonna
go
have to give your take on Dunlora here on the show. We got our good buddy, and I know you have tremendous respect for him as well, John Blair, watching the broadcast.
Hey, John, how's it going?
JB, we love you, homie.
How's things on the other side of the hill?
Would love to get an update from Stan. And John, in fact, anytime you want to come on this program, John Blair, you have carte blanche, and we will clear the schedule for you. So you can come on. I sincerely mean that, JB. So you got to give your take on Dunlora here. You need to give your take on Fontana, Ashcroft.
Let's do Dunlora first.
Okay. Dunlora, the show's yours, Keith Smith. He's using Paragon as we speak, offering intel,
So there's
knowledge.
Dunlora Forest, Dunlora Gates.
They mentioned Dunlora.
Okay, let's do Dunlora.
Dunlora, I would say that's what, Dunlora proper?
I would say that, yeah.
Talking off Rio Road, a relatively new development, wouldn't you say?
No.
It's like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
You
is
consider that
not
new?
No.
No, that's not new.
I mean, for that area, all right. I'll
20,
take that
20,
back.
20 years is I would consider it an established development.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you
Right,
that.
right.
How about this? You
Like
give me-
North Point,
That's new.
That's
I mean, that's
new.
still under construction.
so therefore new.
Okay. Belvedere, you would give me is relatively new.
Depends on the section.
Less than 10 years old.
Well, it was also dormant for a while.
It was dormant. Yeah.
Because of the time of great unpleasantness.
What would you say is a new neighborhood in Charlottesville or the urban ring?
I'm trying
Charlottesville City or the
trying to
urban
do. This is ADD training.
You got some new ones down.
So my
Avon.
doctor said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got some new ones down Avon, newish.
So I just want to do Dunlora real quick.
Okay, please,
No
please.
actives. No actives. I'm looking back in the last 90 days. One pending, which happens to be one that I have sold, which is closing today. So that's going to move into sold.
Ooh, very nice.
Sold today on that end of it. The median sales price out there is 625. Median days on market is 4. So again, it's an established neighborhood. There's different sections of it. This particular unit that actually, I take that back. This particular unit that we're selling is actually a duplex. They have certain sections over there that still have duplexes. So it was a very unique neighborhood. It was built by Craig, if I remember correctly, that section back in that point.
Dunlora, great investment.
Great location.
Jamie says the ice house is fantastic. Perhaps a smidge too expensive for Gordonsville locals, however.
So I will tell you, when we drove through there, because it caught my eye, there was about a dozen either trucks or cars with bikes on them.
Yeah, there's a ton of motorcycles that go
No,
there.
no, these are bicycles.
Okay, I also see a lot of motorcycle riders at Ice House. But go ahead. So what struck you from that? And Paul, get
No,
your
it's
comment
just
here.
it's the transit nature of it, right? You know, that's always been, you know, as far as an investment perspective, is the transit nature.
Transient, yeah.
Transient, thank you.
Yeah.
The transient nature of it. And if you just sat on, literally on a nice, sunny, beautiful Saturday morning when I was walking up there, I couldn't cross the street because the traffic was so heavy, because I parked behind, over on the Ice House side, and the coffee place was on the other side. But it was really gorgeous, well done. Streetscape is off the chart. Charming.
Paul MacArthur watching. He said
Paul.
Avon and Southside have Avon Park 2, Spring Hill Village, and Galaxy Farm being built. Avon is booming.
So I
Charlottesville's
know a
booming.
little bit about that. The Land Trust is selling stuff in Spring Hill. Well, actually, we're done. We're sold out in
You're
Spring
sold
Hill
out, yeah.
Village of our 15 units there. We've got
In conjunction with a friend of the program,
Stanley Martin Homes.
Stanley Martin Homes. We love you, Stanley Martin.
We've got our first under contract in Avon Park. We've got 5 more units left. We're working on a couple other sales on that end of it. So, yeah, that turned around. You know, we moved pretty quickly on those sales.
That area of, I guess that's Paul. That's Albemarle County.
It's
right?
Albemarle County,
That's
yeah.
urban ring right there.
It's Albemarle
That is booming.
Yeah, you know.
There's been, in the last 10 years, significant density added to Avon Extended.
So the question is what's next, Coach?
What are you saying?
Well-
I mean, I would think what's next, from my standpoint, and Paul, I don't want to speak for you, but anyone down Avon Extended and 5th Street Extended, Southside Charlottesville said, you better figure out the school infrastructure before you say what's next, Coach.
Well, so now that I think what we're looking at is probably it for a while.
Why? Because you're saying we're at peak density?
No,
Do you agree with that?
I just think we're moving into somewhat of a different subject. But I think you're going to see some of the developers probably staying away from that area just from the difficulty of getting through the system on that end of it. You got to remember now, the new affordable housing policy in the county has a 20% affordable housing minimum requirement. Used to be 15, now it's 20% in that end of it. So I just think land acquisition is going to be expensive, getting it through the process, and maybe we're going in a different direction. But you'll, in my opinion, you're going to start seeing things like green pick up a little bit, definitively the other side of the mountain pick up as far as new projects go, and definitely going to start seeing the folks that do this for, developers seeing this kind of focusing on what they call their A properties, right? And their B's and C's, I think they're going to start walking back a little bit.
You think?
I know.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. You're going to see that.
And you're saying because the cost of the dirt is too much,
It's
the
everything.
regulatory nature is too
It's
stringent.
the market, the regulatory nature of it. I just think you're going to start seeing a little bit.
What do you think about that, Paul?
A little bit of a walk back on some of the bigger projects, or they're going to be going into projects that have long lead times, so to wait for the market catch up to them.
Greene County?
Oh yeah, you're going to see. I'll bet you this time next year you'll have about between 400 to 600 new residential lots in Greene County.
Keith Smith dropping knowledge today in the program. More comments coming in for Keith Smith. This one is for Whittington.
Nope, I was going to Greene County. We'll go to Whittington.
Whittington is Southside Charlottesville, 5th Street extended. A lot of Stanley Martin in
Yep.
Whittington. You're looking at...
But I believe that's been built out, has it?
It has been built out. You're looking at home sites that are pretty large, an acre and change, an acre plus. Homes that are 800 and above easily can get well over $1 million. Very nice finishes in Whittington. Close proximity to everything in Whittington. Very fantastic south side location. In fact, Whittington has two parts to it.
Yes.
And the sister neighborhood to Whittington is Oak Hill Farm,
Yep.
which is a more affordable price point than Whittington. Affordability is relative, because if you want to get into Oak Hill Farm, you're probably looking at somewhere between 700 to $1 million, $1.1 million to get in at Oak Hill Farm, and that's off Sunset Avenue and Old Lynchburg Road.
So Whittington at the moment has 0 for sale,
Whittington is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
1 pending.
Okay? And what's the price point?
Hang on 1 second.
Gotta be $1 million plus,
I want
right?
to throw sold in there real quick. Hang on 1 second. I just got to. All this requires me to change a little bit of things.
Kevin Yancey, you're 100% right. They are running out of dirt.
Yeah. Well,
You're 100%
yeah.
right.
So the pending is a 974 on 1552 Kendra Street. The 2 sales over there were 1.3 and 1.3 and a little over 900, 939, 940. 0 days on market and 5 days on market. So my assumption on the 0 days is that is probably new construction. Let me look at that real quick and tell you that.
What do you make of, that's a great neighborhood though. Patricia Napoleon, welcome to the program. Jeffrey Newton, hello, welcome to the
That
show.
was not new construction, by the way. That actually sold before it hit the market on 1630 Victor Place in Charlottesville.
Sold before it was listed.
Yeah. Well, it was listed, but it was sold before it hit the market.
So does that mean coming soon?
According to the notes. No, it couldn't have been done on coming soon. Hold sold before being, so actually you were right. It was sold before it was listed. This is for comp. It's put in there for comp purposes. It's something new that we can use in our MLS.
Give me your Whittington take.
Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous over there. I think personally, I think Biscuit Run needs to get going, and that's going to really be stellar over there.
I don't see that happening anytime soon, do you?
Biscuit Run,
No. You want to do a little Dundora take?
I think as we move into recessionary
Yeah,
stuff,
it's going to be less money, less spending.
Yeah, the state and the county is going to be spending less
They're
money.
going to be spending less money.
Where do we want to go next?
Well, what's your take on Oak Hill?
Oak Hill, I have not gotten into looking. I was trying to work on Whittington as we were doing that, but I think you're 100% right. Like Oak Hill is more of a entry level for that area.
Relative.
For
yeah.
that area.
I mean, you're still going to be dropping
For that-
$750,000
for that area.
if not $1 million.
I will tell you, there's nothing active, nothing pending, and the sold for the Oak Hill area was $327,000. So we got to make sure we're talking about the same Oak Hill. So
Oak Hill Farm. That's
yeah.
what you need to put in there.
Yeah,
Oak Hill
yeah,
Farm.
Yeah. So I'm in a different Oak Hill.
I would say this, guys. You look at what's happening down Avon Extended and Fifth Street Extended, and you have two of the most coveted areas for people to live. You got the proximity to Wegmans, the bypass, the university, Interstate 64, Fifth Street Station. You're close to the downtown mall. Whittington, Oak Hill.
Oak Hill, one is sold in the last 90 days.
Let me see. The one in the last 90 days, I would bet you that is somewhere between $800 and $1 million.
1.125.
1.125.
Started at 995, sold for 1.1215.
Dang.
2 days on market.
Dang.
Let's take a look at that one. That went under contract, just out of curiosity. It's a gorgeous home.
Okay. You'd call that a new neighborhood, right?
Yeah, I'd call that a
Okay. Would you call Whittington a newish neighborhood?
I would call Whittington. a
Okay.
newish
Okay.
neighborhood. I just Dunlora.
Dunlora, 20 years. I'll give you. I was wrong.
Well,
You were
some
right.
version of Dunlora has been there as long as I've been here. Right.
Dunlora has also had different iterations.
Some version of Dunlora.
Because Dunlora Force is newer.
That's why I was saying there's like multiple versions of,
Yeah.
of Dunlora. It's kind of like Belvedere is now becoming. There's different versions of it. Same thing with Lake Monticello, right? Lake Monticello was built in '68 and '69. It has been different versions of it. Conventional went under contract on 7/13.
713.
We're under contract 7/13.
And Oak
Closed-
Hill?
And Oak Hill closed on 8/15. So that was,
That's not a bad price point.
well, let's call it a month window, right? Between it went under contract and closed was about a month, which is pretty quick
Extremely quick.
on that end of it. But it sold. So my suspicion is there was multiple offers on that scenario. You dig into it. Beautiful home.
Oh, beautiful. Oak Hill and Whittington, if you haven't seen them, absolutely gorgeous. Paul, what are your thoughts on
one of my bike rides.
Southside's future over there, MacArthur? I'm curious to what his take is. More comments coming in here. So you want to dot the I's across the T's on Oak Hill or Whittington?
Yeah, I think, I think what we're seeing here. So I've got an article in front of me, which sometime we'll talk about. Apparently there's this new definition or this new term being thrown out as a housing recession, and I don't understand that term because nobody's defined it. But I'm not seeing
The
it.
housing recession, I think, is tied to the units sold. And year over year, I think I mentioned this 60 days ago, year over year, we're going to have 20% less inventory sold.
Well, let's look up.
That's a bear market.
Let's play around with that real quick.
Okay.
So let's take a look at Greene County.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what Greene is at as far as active, pending, and sold for the whole county itself, going back in the last 90 days.
And the unfortunate aspect of how Powell and the Fed have to get inflation under control is, unfortunately, how they do that is by leveraging housing in its ecosystem.
Well, we've talked about that.
Increase rates. Look at what's doing.
Rent's going through the freaking roof.
Rent's going through the roof.
I was up when I was just the cost of a 1-bedroom rental right next to the ballpark when we were up there, because it's what
2,500, 2 Gs.
Yeah, 2,500 was closer.
Yeah.
Plus you got to pay for parking, but most people don't park there. They use the metro or that stuff.
Powell has cooled a housing market that was in fuego. He's cooled it down. And if you've noticed, you're starting to be able to get appliances again.
So talk about Greene County last 90 days.
Please.
Right, there's 25 single family detached, ranging from 199 up to 1.4 million. So that must be a larger farm. It's got 30 acres, yeah. So it's a large tract of land. So the median is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Roughly 1,800 square feet. On the market, roughly around 30 days. 29 are in pending on that end of it. But it's interesting, the same 90 days, 98 has sold out in Greene County. And the median sales price over there is $388, 6 days on market.
There's your answer,
Yeah.
the median sales price.
Well, that's the reason I want, that's kind of where the market is, I think, is gonna go. So we were talking about,
I mean, your crystal ball has been pretty damn accurate.
well,
I mean, you got 35 years of experience.
yeah, kind of been around
You've
the block.
seen a lot.
Been around the
You've
block
seen a lot.
little bit. Yeah. It's a short block though.
No, your block is not a short block.
So let's play around with something here real quick.
You sing yourself, and then I always say, no, no, no. Because I
well,
love
well, that's what I'm looking for.
you. I know. Is this where Jonas says you're searching or hunting for compliments, honey?
No, it's fishing for
Fishing for
compliments. Fishing for compliments. So what's today? Today is the
Today's
29th.
Monday the 29th. Good
Yeah.
Lord,
So what do you want
August is over.
What do you want to go back? 60 days, 90 days?
Yeah, I think let's go 60. So like you said, I mean, if anything past 60 is just
So I'm going to do June
antiquated
1,
data.
June 1 to today.
Okay.
Right? Greene County, somebody write this down because it's not going to combine everything for me. So Greene County, we had 151 units sold this last period of 6 months. So let's take a look at what's sold. Hold on one second here. Am I not moving fast enough here?
No, I think you're great. I mean, he's doing a lot of things here. He literally,
So
for those that are
300,
listening.
so 308 days on market, 381 is medium. So I'm just curious, in Greene County, that same 2 months a year ago, let's see what it was doing back there. I don't know the answer, so let's see what it is. So I'm just dropping a year out of everything, so the same time period in 2021. So would you take a gamble on which 60-day plus period was greater, last year or this year
I mean,
in Greene County?
I'm going to say it's this year. And why I'm going to say it's
Good-
this
good-
year is
good
because
answer.
the increased rates has created an affordability issue in Albemarle and the city of Charlottesville. And as a result, the people that got priced out of buying a home because the 30-year fix jumped 2 points have had to broaden their search, and now we're looking at Greene that has a lower starting price point, which makes their monthlies more affordable.
92 units sold that same time period in 2021 versus 2022, which was 151 units on that. Back in 21, same time period, 300 was 300 and hold on a second here.
The
342,000 was the medium sales price, is 381 now.
The increased
Days
rates
on market, what it's saying.
The increased rates are tailwinds for Greene County. They drive momentum.
Well, that's
for
the
Greene.
point. That's the point I've been trying to make, where the developers are going to go, because that's the price point.
The
that-
dirt's cheaper.
Well, it's the price point they want to be in.
Yeah.
Right? The price point of $1 million plus, excuse me.
It's a limited buyer pool.
Yeah.
And then that buyer pool got depleted when rates jumped to nearly 6%.
You want to do Fluvanna County?
Let's go, Fluvanna.
Same period of time?
So is this you combating my comment about housing recession?
I don't combat anything.
Well, you're highlighting jurisdictions
No. So what
that have momentum.
Yeah, so what I want to be uber careful about our conversation
Please.
here and get the message out
Yeah.
is that not to lump sum everything together now is not a good thing, right? So again, back to the 5 things, right? Each location, so Greene County is moving along. I bet you if we take a look at Charlottesville for that same time period, and we'll do a little dance around the jurisdictions, big county, county city wise, you'll see some a little bit. I'll bet you when we do Nelson County, you're going to see the total opposite.
Over
Greene.
20% drop in sales.
I would agree.
In Nelson County. I wouldn't be surprised if City of Charlottesville is 17 to 20% drop in sales, year over year. You give me the last 30 days, you give me August 2022 versus August of 2021, and I'll bet you City of Charlottesville, I'll put the over-under at 15% drop in sales, year over year, August 2022, August versus August 2021. I'll put it at over-under at 15% drop, and I'll take the over on it.
Are we betting here?
I'll put the over-under at 13%, and I'll take the over on it.
Okay, so you're going to have to remember all that, my fine sir, and I'm going to agree to it because just the kind of guy I
Yeah,
am.
for the sake of talk. Okay, let's do this. Judah, you remember the parameters of the bet. August, year over year, new things he doesn't like.
So-
Judah.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear the immediate response?
Hey, Judah, how you doing?
Generally, what you like to hear is, sure, I'm happy to help. Year over year,
So Flavanna has not gone down.
Fluvanna and Green are the same.
I know that, but I'm trying to work our way around this,
Give me
Mr.
the
Miller.
expensive jurisdictions and see what happens.
Yeah, but that's not where the average buyer is, right? The average buyer is not there. This is the average buyer that we're in. So
Is the average buyer Almoral or City of Charlottesville, or is the average
it's a
buyer
price
Green
point.
or Fluvanna?
I'm looking at price point and where they're going.
Because I would say the average buyer is Charlottesville City and Almoral.
We're going to find out when we get there. But Flavanna County, 2021, 179, 300,000, right? There was 179 units sold. Median sales price for the was 300,000. Same time period in 2022, 274 units sold at 382. So prices are going up, number of units are going up. Same 30, 60, whatever it was, 60 some odd days block was going back in 2 years. So
Here's the bet. Throw this to you.
okay.
City of Charlottesville.
Somebody needs to write
Here's the
bet.
bet.
Would you write the
City of Charlottesville, August 2022 versus August 2021.
You want to do a little bit more than 30
30 days. All right, go July and August 2022 versus July and August 2021.
With all due respect, sir, why don't we stick with the dates that we've got? We got June to today, June 1 to today.
Okay, we can do that.
So it's a little
I would
bit
bet you
longer.
in that period of time, if we put the over-under at a drop of 13% in
We're
sold
doing the city of
inventory.
Charlottesville.
City of Charlottesville, a drop of 13% of sold inventory. That drop this year is greater than 13%.
For the sake of a talk show, I actually agree with you, but for the sake of a talk show, I'll take the
other side.
I'll take the other side.
Yeah.
Of it. All righty. So, city of Charlottesville. Now, we're defining it as detached only, right?
Yeah, let's go detached only.
Okay, got it.
Detached only. And are you doing city or are you searching by zip code?
This is city. Just
Okay.
the whole full footprint of the city. Hang on one second, please.
I would think that the drop in the city over that period of time, the over/under, remember, is at 13%.
Oh, well, somebody will have to figure the math out.
I would say it's
So-
almost 17. Judah, here comes the numbers.
So from 6/1/22 to 8/29/22, City of Charlottesville, 127 units have sold, homes have sold.
127 units in that period of time.
Detached. And we're looking
2021.
at 495 is your median sales price.
495,
495. So
495K.
so let me do the same time period in 21.
All right, so 2022, from June
What are we
to
betting, by the
August. No bet, just
okay.
sake of a talk show. Because, I mean, you agree with me. And you're just doing this for the sake of talk show. 2022.
I'm doing it to help my ADD. Actually.
City of Charlottesville, from June to August, 127 units sold, median sales price 495,000.
Yeah.
Now Smith is going to look at 2021, the number of units sold, and the median sales price. The over/under decline is 13%. I'm taking the over.
I think you're going to win that one. So so in 2022,
2020, we have 2022,
okay, got it. 2021 is 150.
150 units.
150 from 127, whatever
And
that
what's
was.
the median?
Median 451.
God. it's
So we went
expensive.
up. We went up.
$44,000
Yeah. So
year
so
over year.
the
At a
number
time
of
when
units
rates went up 2%.
number of units went down. Sales price went
We're
up.
looking at a difference of, what is that, 25, 23. 23 would be, I'll tell you right now.
You want to do Albemarle County?
Yeah, let me figure out.
Well,
this.
you're doing that. I'll do Albemarle.
You're
County.
looking at roughly 16% drop in the city of Charlottesville year over year. A 16% drop year over year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Remember we did the math a couple of shows ago. I knew City went down, Nelson went down.
I'm sure Albemarle went down too. Let's do Albemarle.
We're going to do
County.
Albemarle. Albemarle's going to take me a few seconds because what we want to do is factor out new construction. So majority, there's a lot of new construction in Albemarle County, so I need a couple of minutes.
Christelle, welcome to the program. She's a Lake Monticello, and she listens and watches our content routinely, one of the best catering directors in the city of Charlottesville and in Central Virginia. Christelle, we love when you watch the program. The stat that you just heard from Keith Smith, 2022, this year, from June through August of this year, in the city of Charlottesville, there were 127 units sold. The median sales price for those 127 units is $495,000. In 2021, from June through August, there was 150 units sold with a $451,000 median sales price. That's a drop of roughly 16% in inventory sold single-family detached only. While the inventory is dropping, the prices are escalating. $495K in 2022, the median, $451K the median in 2021. That shows you the affordability in this community is more difficult or more challenging than ever. The prices are escalating year over year at a nearly 10% clip, and rates jumped 2% while inventory dropped considerably. Rates went up, price points went up, inventory to purchase went down. That shows, yet again, something you've been highlighting, that it's very much still a seller's market in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and most of Central Virginia.
You ready for Albemarle County?
Albemarle County, here we go.
So Albemarle County, keep in mind we dropped out new construction because it kind of skews the days on markets and the numbers. So this is single family detached only, so no attached, no condos, that kind of thing on that end of it. So in 2021,
Okay,
we had 137 units sold.
137 units sold, okay?
Days on market was 5. 429 was the median sales price.
429K median sales, okay? 2022?
123,
Okay, hold on. 2022 is 123
123,
units sold, okay?
5 days on market.
Jesus.
So we didn't change that at all.
And the median?
You ready for that? 486.
Get out! Oh my God! You're
So
talking about a 60G?
so the-
57K?
So the
486?
486.
Holy crap. That's an astronomical jump year over year.
And I-
429K
And I double
to
checked
4
it while you were doing. By the way, good job on the.
You like that?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked
thank
that.
you very much.
I was as
It
I
was
was
effortless.
as I was
Flawless.
as I was plugging the numbers, going, damn! I'm glad I'm not doing that.
Keith, that is a dramatic jump.
So we're looking at our jurisdictions, right? And this is big picture, right? These are the full jurisdictions. We're not breaking down into neighborhoods. And to continue my point of, location, price, features, conditions, and timing within those larger jurisdictions or larger city of Charlottesville, Albemarle, there's areas that are going to be produce a little bit better, a little bit less, that kind of thing. But this is just a huge block on the green. So green, we went up in 2022.
Fluvanna, we went up.
Fluvanna, we went up in 2022.
Albemarle, City of Charlottesville, were dropped.
We
Nelson
went down.
County,
We
we're
went down on that. So where do we want to go next? Nelson?
Well, Nelson, we know it's going to be over 20%.
I think Nelson's in almost 50%.
Dude, Nelson's got, and thank goodness, and Jesse Rutherford, I don't know if you're watching the program, Nelson's got very fiscally conservative leadership with its board of supervisors, and it's a damn good thing they do have
Yeah,
fiscally
man.
conservative leadership. because their school enrollments are dropping, their real estate taxes are dropping. I mean, you've got some serious headwinds in Nelson County right now.
Well, I think
And I'm curious of how those headwinds with Wintergreen, with these second homes, these investment properties, if the you-know-what hits the fan with the economy, what's going to happen to the investment properties, the second homes? Because those are the first to be let go.
And I don't, that could be very well, that could be true on that. But once again, I thought that was going to happen on the other side of the hill, and it didn't.
In Waynesboro.
In Waynesboro, and it did.
But
and
those weren't second homes.
That is correct.
Those are primary residences.
That is
and people
correct.
fight tooth and nail for their primary,
That is-
not their investment.
That is correct. But the, I think the remote work from home is still enough going on out there that, with all that fiber that they have.
Well, how do you explain the student enrollment dropping so?
Well, that's easy. Most of the people are my age and
Right.
up, or they're millennials coming that haven't had kids yet, right? So again, we talk about this all the time. Who's the two larger
Millennials
buyer?
and boomers.
And it's Keith and Yona and millennials
Yeah.
on that end of it. All righty. So Nelson County in 2021, we had 84 units sold at a median sales price, again, single family detached at 422. I'm going to work on
84 units sold?
84 units, 422.
God,
That's
Nelson
20.
was
That's 2021.
Okay.
Let's take a look at what's going on in 22. I hope this is helpful to folks.
Oh, this is great. I love this stuff. I geek out to this stuff.
Well, you ready for the big? I know you do, but
2022 units sold. I would say
43.
Good Lord, it got cut in half.
So that's why I told you it was closer to 50%.
Nelson County is 50% down inventory sold year over year. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
50% down year over year. 43?
And would you take a gamble on where the number went?
Shoot, I don't think the number went down.
464.
So it still went up.
It went up.
It went up 40 G's.
It went up 40 G's.
42 G's.
So we cut it in half, but we went up. So
The first-time home buyer has never had more difficult time buying a house than right now. You're getting hammered on rates. You're getting hammered on inventory.
But on the flip side,
price
to that,
point.
But to take the positive approach on that conversation, is we're proving that if you buy, your value's going up,
Yeah, that's
right?
fair.
So if you would have bought in 2021, your value has gone up in these particular, and it's gone up in every single jurisdiction that we've looked at, right? The volume of units have gone down, and what I would love to take a look at some point is what were they compared to 18, right?
You can make a legitimate argument, and this is going to be challenging to do, and I thoroughly enjoyed this show, dude. You can make a legitimate argument that if you're looking to buy a house right now, that you could find.
That's no new construction, by the way, in Nelson County.
There's some opportunity out there.
There's always opportunity.
I think some buyers are spooked.
I do not see that with our buyers. I think with our buyers anyway.
Yeah.
What you're seeing with our buyers is that these numbers we're talking about is going, okay, great, it's normalized. I can buy today, right? And even at a rate that's higher that we all agreed was never normal to start with.
Sure.
On that, we're kind of back into normal, actually a little bit below normal rates historically.
Is it like 5.4, 5.5?
Yeah, historically since 72, the average is 7 point something percent
right.
on that end of it. So, the conversation with the young buyers is, okay, the whole panic, the world is ending from, thank you for not having the television on,
All
by
right,
the way.
dude, you don't want to see, it's like hemorrhaging right now.
So
The Dow is falling 300 points. The sell-off is continuing from Friday.
You've got the media calling it a housing recession.
Down 6 points since Thursday. Thank
And
you, Jay Powell.
with all due respect, they don't know what an effing term even means. But
The term there is the 20%.
if you read that article, nobody knows what
It's a
that's
20% drop.
Well, no, that's the difference between a bull
That's
and
a bear market.
bar market.
Yeah.
But they're creating this housing recession.
Well, the National Home Builders Association, these are the builders. They released their sentiment, and they're like, it's bleak.
Yeah, but that's the builders.
But why?
But that's
what I
new
don't understand.
construction.
Why would the builders do that?
Well,
Why
it's
would
because it's what they do.
But I get it. But why wouldn't they try to manage the perception?
Well, that's a whole
They
different.
need to manage the perception, not go on record for all the media outlets and say housing's in the crapper.
Well, you can't have it both ways, Mr. Miller. You can't say, "Hey, I'm happy, building is good," and then all of a sudden it is what it is, right? It's a reflection. But remember, we're dropping new construction out of this. That's a whole different animal unto itself. I've been there. New construction does this wave thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's completely different than
Where
existing.
it is a very, that is why you have to bring new construction experts to these two empty seats. Well, I will bring new construction experts in for these two empty
I
seats.
saw Frank Bailiff the other day playing pickleball. Maybe we get with Charlie.
That must have been fun.
It's
Did you play against them?
No, we were changing the locker room. I just finished playing. I don't know what I was playing that day.
Where was it at?
At Port Said. He goes, "What are you going to do?" Well, I said, "What are you going to do?" He goes, "We're going to go play some pickleball." Bailiff and Charlie Armstrong.
So those guys, these people that Southern.
I wanted to stand off the court and do some video that we could replay on Real Talk.
No,
but I figured, I figured
I
you would not go for that.
I would not. I have too much respect for Mr. Bailiff.
Frank Bailiff is pretty talented on the pickleball courts. So I'm tell Frank Bailiff we're giving him some props.
I'm sure he is. But here's the difference, right? They're not panicking.
Oh,
They're not panicking.
those guys run a great company.
Yeah, but they're not panicking. This is a normal cyclical stuff. That's the nature. Somebody asked me the other day.
Others are panicking.
Understand that? Well, maybe
Their balance sheet looks a little different.
It's not even that. It's Sometimes you got to shut, like you just did. By the way, thank you for doing that.
I was listening to it on the way in on the car, and it was doom and gloom, and I came in here, I'm like, I'm not going to put it on.
Yeah.
We have a TV here in the studio that we can watch while doing the show, and it's often on CNBC throughout the day. And
Okay, so let's face it. We fight between Nickelodeon, which is what I want to watch.
he wants to watch Double Dare, Keith Smith, and I want to watch
Well, anything with Bugs Bunny in it, I'm in.
I want to watch Carl and Jim and David Faber.
But you should. But no. Let's talk about that. That's the point that I'm trying to make with some of these round robins that we're looking at these different jurisdictions, right? And these different things. This isn't the end of the world. The world hasn't ended, right? There's no reason to panic. It is always a good time to buy. The smart builders are going, okay. It's part of the reason why I'm saying they're pulling back. They're saying, okay, Frank Bailiff and Southern Development is not going to go out. 6 months ago, they may look at a project that was a little risky. They're changing their risk profile. They're pulling stuff in a little bit tighter in it. They're having a hard time getting people to build. So, okay, I'll slow my tempo down a little bit. I'm having a hard time getting stuff, right? I'm going to slow my tempo down a little bit. And then, they'll keep a very close eye on the market. And then they'll start picking things back up. New construction is definitely going to be doing the roller coaster ride. It's always done the roller coaster ride on it. It's just the way it's always been. But existing is the point I'm trying to make is there's not a single jurisdiction that went backwards.
Well, here's
Year
the
over
question.
year.
Multiple questions are coming in.
What time is it? Oh,
I know. It's been so easy. We've gone an hour and 15 minutes, and I just looked at the clock for the first
I
time.
just literally just looked at it myself.
Well, okay, why don't we start closing on this? Because Judah gives me grief. He's got to get ready for the next show.
I don't think.
You don't think Judah gives me grief? You're crazy. Judah gives me grief.
Well, I'm crazy, but that's besides the point. I got to do anything.
Let me throw this to you. And I'm curious of your take on this, too, if you have a take, J-Dubs.
I'm going to get you like I'm going to get you like one of the squeezy foam balls. Like, remember the Nerf balls? I'm going to get you one of them. You can throw them at us when we start going off tangents.
Here's what for both of you guys. City of Charlottesville, if it wanted to build new housing, new construction, where would it do it? I don't see any dirt to build. Second question I have for you is this. Do you expect the price points? I know you don't expect them to appreciate as they have year over year. Do you think in 2023 when we do this same exercise, because I don't know if you realize this, you're doing Real Talk with Keith Smith until 2050. So you got 28 more years of doing this, Smith.
Did you say 28?
28 more years of doing this, Keith. When we do this next year, will we see the price points
I'll be in a wheelchair.
increase year over year? Do you think they will increase year over
Yes,
year?
I
You
do. There's not, again, big picture. I think you might see some micro markets, right? Some streets. Literally, it's going to be down to that kind of detail on this. Some streets. A house one across the other may be a little bit more, demand a little bit more than the other because
Might be in better condition.
better condition, has
Yeah.
better features, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff is going to matter. 3 months ago, if it had a roof on it and it was standing,
It's sold.
it's kind of like back in the day, this cup of coffee
Could get a loan.
could get a loan, right? So that's it, and that's why somebody asked me the other day, they heard the show, so why are you saying you're so excited about the market going forward? I am. I'm super excited because
I'm excited for you. Why I'm excited for you is this market is going to be helter-skelter and a lot
you
of
got to know the difference.
a lot of unpredictability, and you have 35 years of experience, Yona's experience. So people like you that have seen so many different
Yeah, but it's just
iterations
not,
of the
it's not
market.
me. I was on the phone with Reeves Bailey today.
Well, he's another experienced one.
Right.
Where I'm concerned is the agents that don't have the experience.
So if they're smart, which they are,
partner with somebody like you.
well, or I'm sure that's what's happening, right? They pick a mentor, they pick an apprentice, and say, okay, tell me how to do this. Navigating through home inspections are different now. Some people have never experienced that before, so you go ahead and get your experience, or just watch every one of our shows. We'll teach you.
Yeah, realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. One more time, realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. Check the partners tabs, and you see literally the supply chain of people that you can count on in real estate. I also would encourage you to scroll down to the bottom of the website, look at the footer, and see who built that website.
Judah, right?
Judah, BMP Brands, I Love Seville, all of us. You, my friend, crushed it today.
Yeah, I love. I've said this before, and I will continue to say it. I love our
this
just
is the
you and
best.
I.
Yeah.
This is new what we did today,
We
right?
should do this more.
This was new.
We didn't get to a lot of them.
Well, I wanted to see how the listeners and the viewers reacted to it.
Well, everybody wants to take on their neighborhood.
Well,
You know?
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
And you're a rock star.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm a guy that carries a 1.5-year-old that gets his hearing aids taken out.
There is, and I'm going to embarrass you a little bit here. There is no realtor in the car
Oh,
footprint
no.
that has a higher profile than you. I'm straight up saying it.
No,
I've heard that from maybe 100 people.
yeah. Well,
And it's because what you're doing here.
Well,
I'm
I
serious.
also paid them money. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate that. I do this because I love it. I have fun, and if we can help some folks out, it's great. And we've got awesome sponsors and awesome partners. And I will tell you though, the whole weekend I was thinking about Friday's show. That was a good show. I had a lot of fun. James was there. James Watson, my brother-in-law, was there. He said he watched it, and he's actually going to pick up the phone and get some Segura Home Solar
Oh, Friday show is amazing.
on the top of their.
Nicholas says you have cute photos with the grandkids.
Thank you. Is he calling me cute or the grandkids?
Not you, kid.
Okay. got it.
Not you.
Damn.
He's calling the grandkids cute.
She is a piece of work. I can tell you that
She's
much.
adorable.
Man, that's 1.5 year. 1.5. I think she's older than that. I think she's like 1 3/4 of a year of constant motion. Constant motion.
That's you.
Yeah. Well,
You should see this man in the studio before the show starts. You ask him to sit down for 2 minutes. Next thing you know, he's pacing the studio. He's walking around. He's giving Liza treats. He's going to the
gotta take a
bathroom.
leak. That's
he's
what it-
checking this. He's doing this. I'm like, what's the man doing over here?
So what are you doing today at this? You and Judah today?
Yeah, we love
Good.
it. We're crushing it. He's doing a great job.
I've been watching them. They're a lot of fun to watch.
The Monday show is my favorite because there's a lot of content from over the weekend. Judah often has 3 or 4 topics that he likes to talk about and pontificate about. And I've been hearing from a number of people that Judah's pontifications are very well received.
You're the Pope?
Judah's pontifications are very well received.
I got a little
I
laugh
like
out
when
of
he gets
Judah.
a chuckle.
When I get a chuckle out of Judah, I
You
know
it's
I'm
fun.
doing well. I know I'm doing well.
He's tough to get him to laugh, but when he laughs, you know it was funny. Anything you want to close with?
No, man, I love doing this.
Wednesday's teas.
Wednesday's teas. We have a new sponsor that's going to be joining us. For those looking at the partners tab, he's going to be sitting up with us. I'm just going to leave it alone. He's in the photography business. We'll let him talk about himself. I don't want to do it for him. And Emily Funk's going to be joining
Love
us
Emily.
because we're going to be talking about, hey, if you want to put your house on the market, this is the kind of the tools you want to use, and look at it from a staging perspective, and then from the awesomeness that Brendan is doing. So
I love it. You crushed it today. All the shows are archived on realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. Realtalkwithkeithsmith.com is the website. Judah Wickower is the director. My name is Jerry Miller. The show is presented by Yes Realty Partners. Check out their website, Yes Realty Partners. Trust them to help you navigate what is a stressful experience of buying and selling homes. Yes Realty Partners. The I Love Seville show is up in 49 minutes.
I know that.
49 minutes.
I was getting a look.
I hear it when you leave.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah. He does. He goes, I'm rushing, I'm behind. Where I really hear it is at the end of the day. When he's like, the shows went this long. How are we supposed to get this work done? That's when we really hear it. And you know what? You're justifiable in your point, Judah. There's only so much time in the day.
Liza just said, time to wrap up, guys.
Judah, you're genuinely justifiable in your point. I sincerely mean it.
So let's
All
wrap
right.
up, sir.
Yeah, we should get out. I Love Seville show is soon. Keith, Judah, Jerry, thank you kindly for joining us so
See you
long.
on Wednesday.
Very well done, Keith. Dude, the show flew, right?
I literally
First time I